you. I was super excited when Tessa asked me to speak with you guys, and I was especially excited when it was this time of year, because this is my favorite time of year, business planning. And here's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to share with you how to make your business plan work for you. And the reason I want to talk to you about that is because I've seen a pattern year over year over year. And here's the pattern. Okay. Guys get all excited about writing your business plan. You get super fired up about the goals that you're setting for 2023. Best year ever. Who has said that when they're writing their business plan, right? Like 2023 is going to be my best year ever. I see it. The energy is contagious. And then we have a little break for the holidays. And then we come back in January and everybody's still fired up, right? 2023, best year ever. But then guess what happens? We get to the third week of January and I literally see this divide in the road. I literally see a group of agents that have no idea, like they can't remember what their goals were or what their habits were going to be and who they were going to hire and all these great plans they had. And they just go and they react to how the market behaves. And we know what the market's like this year, right? And what's doing now. But then there's this other group that not only hits their goals, like not only survives, but they thrive, like they absolutely thrive, and they hit, like they're just like blown away about what they achieve. And there's a really simple difference between the two groups. And the group that's really, really successful is they take those goals and they convert them to action plans, like they convert them to tactics, step-by-step tactics. But here's the key. They get it in their calendar, right? They take those actions and they decide when they're doing those actions that are going to get them to the results. And so what I want to do today is I want to go deeper into what are the things I want to make sure that you guys have on your calendar. And then you do these things daily, weekly, monthly, and it's absolutely going to help you hit your goals. And so before we get into that, I want to share with you a couple of really interesting statistics that came out from NAR in the last week or so. So every year around this time of year, NAR produces their profile of buyers and sellers. And it's like a 5-minute read. And there's 4 statistics in that report that stood out for me. And to me, it aligns with how you want to run your marketing plan in 2023. So I want you to write down 4 numbers. I want you to write down 4 numbers, and then I'm going to explain the 4 numbers. Okay, first number is 89. The second number is 80. The third number is 67. And the last number is 63. Okay, 89, 80, 67, 63. So here's what those numbers are saying. Okay, listen to this. 89% of buyers would use their agent again or recommend their agent to others. 89%, that's pretty freaking good odds, right? Like you do a good job with your buyer, you get a good Google review, that's just going to create massive momentum in your business, right? 89% of buyers would use their agent again or recommend their agent to others. Okay, 80% of sellers contacted only one agent before they found the right agent to work with to sell their home. Again, pretty flippin' good odds. 80%. If you're the first agent, 80%, you're going to get it. That's really, really good. But what does that say? That tells me that you've got to do a good job of letting people know who you are, the market that you serve. Yeah, Nazar, I agree with you. That's why speed to lead is so important, right? Speed to lead is critical. Think about having those Google reviews. Think about having that content out there. They're interviewing you online before they call you. So if you put out really good content, your speed to lead is phenomenal. The odds are in your favor that you're going to get that listing. That one blew me away. 80% contacted only one. That one blew me away. Okay. The next number is 67. 67% of buyers interviewed only one agent during the home search. So we've got 80% of sellers and 67% of buyers only interviewed one. Again, speed to lead, putting content out there, right? And just having a real presence and having good Google reviews. And then the last number is 63, which is 63% of sellers found their agent through a referral or used an agent they had worked with before to buy or sell a home. So what does all this say about your marketing plan? It says that you really got to lean into your database, right? You got to keep in touch with your database. If you're not keeping in touch with them, you are missing a massive, massive, massive opportunity. When you are setting your goals for 2023, 50 to 66% of your business is probably going to come from your database, from your past clients, from your sphere, and from referrals from that group. Okay. So you want to be really, really good with your database. You want to be really, really good about your social content. Let me ask you something. Imagine I'm at a dinner party and I'm sitting next to one of your clients. And I say to your client, hey, we're thinking about selling. Who is your agent? How was your experience? Like, what was it like? Oh my gosh, it was Tessa. She was phenomenal. Well, guess what I'm going to do when I get home? I'm going to Google Tessa's name, right? I'm going to Google Tessa's name. And so first of all, this applies to all of you. If I Googled your name, number one, could I find you? Could I actually find you? And number two is, would there be enough content out there that would compel me and make me feel confident to pick up the phone and contact you, right? Is there enough content out there? So here's the content I want to be able to find online about you. There's 3 buckets of content that I want to make sure that I see. Number one, your knowledge and expertise. I want to feel really confident that you know what's going on in the local market right now, right? What is the market doing? What is the market doing? Are you doing like a 30 to 60-second vertical video each week, same day each week, telling me this is the midweek market update, or this is the last week in your city, right? Do that. I feel really confident that you know exactly what's going on in the market. Are you giving me these short form videos, these tips in terms of how to buy, how to sell, how to invest? Like, I feel really confident that you are knowledgeable about that buying and selling process. So that's the first content. I also want to see content around the community. Here's a miss I see all the time with agents. If I go onto their social, I see just listed, just sold. Look at me. I'm great. 5-star review. But where do you work? Right? I might just see that you sold 1, 2, 3 Main Street or 4, 5, 6 Main Street. Show me where you live, where you play, why you love it. Show me the gorgeous sunsets. Show me the hiking trails. Show me your favorite restaurant, right? Remind me the community where you live, the 5 best reasons about living here, 5 reasons why you wouldn't want to live here. Then I'm confident that you know that community. And then the third kind of content I want to see from you is I want to see content around your passions and interests. Why? Because like attracts like. If you're a dog lover, show me that. If you're really into golf, show me that. If your kids are really important and family is really important, show me that, because like attracts like, right? So those 4 stats from NAR are really good numbers to know to help you influence what you're doing with your marketing this year. right? Lean into your database. Let me be able to find you online, and let me feel confident that you know what's going on in your local market. You have a passion for your community, and you have things that you love to do outside of real estate. Okay, so I want you to go back and look at your marketing plan and adjust it so those things all shine through. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk to you about is the execution of your plan, right? So here's 3 more numbers I want you to write down. First number is 95. The second number is 90. And the third number is 13. Okay, 95, 90, and 13. 95. So this is pertaining to business plans, annual plans, things like that. 95% of all employees have no idea what the plan is for the organization. This is a study from Harvard Business Review. 95% of all employees have no idea what the plan is for the organization. And so for those of you running teams, those of you that have staff, can you see the difference it'll make when your team members and your staff know where you're going, right? Like, think about like just getting in a car and not knowing where you're going versus getting in a car and everybody knows what the destination is. Everybody knows what they're going to be able to experience when they get to the destination. So if you haven't already shared your vision and your plan with the team, like from a leadership perspective, you got to do that. I found that staggering, that 95% of all employees have no idea what the plan is. Okay. The second number, equally surprising, 90% of strategic plans that are written go unexecuted. 90%. Actually, January 17th is like it's actually called like National Ditch Your Resolutions Day or Ditch Your Goals Day, right? It's like that's the day, literally, when people abandon their goals and abandon their plans, right? 90%. So we're all going to be in that minority that gets to their plans. And then the 13, and I know you've heard this stat before, which is there's like a 13% survival rate in this industry after 5 years, right? 87% of agents fail in the first 5 years. So we're all going to be in that 13%, aren't we? Okay. So I'm going to make the assumption that you guys have all written your plan for 2023, or it's well on its way. Is that a fair assessment? That that's written and it's done, or it's well on its way? Okay. So here's a couple of things that I want you to get into your calendar to help you really execute on that plan. And it's just going to like really remind you of what you want to achieve this year. Okay. So the first thing I want you to do is, when you wrote your plan, you wrote your business goals, didn't you? But you also wrote your why, or your personal goals. And so I want you to take those personal goals, your why, and I want you to turn it into your bedtime story, right? I want you to make that list and read that list to yourself every evening before you go to bed. Why? Because first of all, it's all like really good things. But it's also, it gets embedded in your subconscious, and it reminds you of all the things that you want to happen. And your why and your personal goals are so important, because this business isn't complicated, but it's not always easy, right? Like, do you ever get to the end of the day and you go, okay, why am I doing this? Like, you're either completely overwhelmed or you're uninspired. But when you read that why, it grounds you, right? It reminds you of all the benefits that you're going to achieve and accomplish by achieving the success in your business. And so the way that I like to write my why is I look at 5 areas of my life. and I set personal goals in each of those 5 areas. The first is health and vitality, right? And so your health and vitality goals can be anything from sleeping through the night, feeling energized, running the New York Marathon, right? Like everybody has different goals for their health and vitality, but remind yourself of that, because then I want your schedule to align with that, right? If one of your goals is to feel energized and sleep through the night, okay, well, we got to make sure in your schedule that it's lights out at 10:30 every night, right? So you're gonna translate all these goals into calendar items. Okay, so I want you to have goals for your health and vitality. The second thing I want you to have goals for is wealth and contribution. What do you want to invest in? Do you have real estate that you want to purchase, right? What about, think about the balance in your retirement fund. What's the balance now, and what do you want it to be by the end of the year? How much do you want to invest in that? What about debt that you have? Where's that debt number at now, and where do you want it to be by the end of the year? Right? So have goals for wealth and contribution. And what I really like to do when setting these personal goals is I like to say not only the number that I want to achieve, but the number where I'm starting from. Right? So let's say you have, I don't know, $50,000 worth of debt. You want to get it from 50 down to 10. Right? Like that's much more meaningful than just saying get it to 10 or to reduce it by 40, right? Like tell me where you're starting and where you want to finish, because as you go throughout the year and you're reading that number, you're high-fiving yourself about how far you've come. Okay, so you want to have goals for health and vitality. You want to have goals for wealth and contribution. You also want to have goals for travel and adventure. Where's all the places you want to travel to this year? Are there any staycations you want to have? Is there a girls' weekend? Is there a guys' weekend? Is there a family reunion? Like, where are the places where you want to go? Right? So have your goals for travel and adventure. And then what about relationships and connections? Think about family and friends. Think about the most important people in your life. What do you want that to look like over the course of the year? Right? Maybe there's someone you haven't seen in 3 or 4 years. And you know what? This is the year we're going to get together. Right? Maybe you have a goal of, you want to have like an amazing connection with your significant other. Hey, you want to have date night every Wednesday. Well, you know what? I want to make sure that I see that in your calendar, because if you just have it as a want and a wish, it's not going to happen. So when you have that as your why and you read it every night, guess what's going to happen? You are not going to miss that date night, because you know that it is a priority for you this year, right? So relationships and connections. And then the last one is personal growth. How do you want to grow as a person? Is there a language you want to learn? Is there a new sport you want to learn? Is there a hobby that you want to take up? Do you want to become a better leader? Like, what are your personal growth goals? And so so make your why your bedtime story and write it on a piece of paper, keep it in your bedside table, pull it out, write it in your journal, open it up, read it. I actually have mine written out on Asana, and it's just an evening task, and I open it up and I read it, because that way I always, always, always have it with me. But just do something where you have it and you make your why your bedtime story. Okay. The other thing I want you to do is, after you've written your business plan for the entire year, you finished it, I want you to make an executive summary of it, right? I want you to remind yourself of, what are my big business goals for the year? Where is my business coming from? What are the adjustments I need to make in my business this year to get to that new level of success? So if you want to go from 40 units this year to 80 units next year, what got you here won't get you there, right? You can't run your business the same way in 2022, in 2023, you're not going to get a different level of results. So you have to remind yourself of, What are the adjustments I need to make in support and systems and skills, right? Who do I need to hire this year? Who do I need to collaborate this year? Where do I need better systems for managing my buyers and my sellers and my finances and my operations and all those things, right? You have that checklist and you read that through at the beginning of every week. And then every 90 days, you're going to set your quarterly rocks, your quarterly goals. And at the beginning of every week, you're also going to read what you want to accomplish in the next 90 days. And this may seem, you may be thinking like, oh my gosh, this is like really, really repetitive. But you know what? When you drill it into yourself that often, you're not going to go off track, right? You're really going to stay on the path of reaching your goals. Because think about it. If you write your business plan and then you never look at it again, because that happens, that would be like deciding to go on a road trip, putting the destination in your GPS, and then turning off the sound and never listening to the GPS again and never looking at the map again. You might not get to the destination on time. You might not take the right path. And who knows if you're even going to get there, right? And so you want to be really, really clear on what you want this year. Read that every week. You're going to set 90-day goals at the last week of every quarter for the next 90 days. And you're going to read that. And then you know what else you're going to do to start your week? You're going to decide what you're going to accomplish over the next 7 days, right? And so over the next 7 days, you're just going to look at it and go, okay, here's how many listing appointments and buyer consultations I need by the end of the quarter. What do I want to get in the next 7 days, right? Where do I want to be in the next 7 days? Well, I want to do 13 by the end of this quarter. I'm at 2 and I want to get to 4. So I know I got to set 2 appointments this week. Okay, so what's your workout routine? What's your business routine to get there? Well, I'm doing this networking event. I'm shooting these videos. I'm making these phone calls. I'm sending these texts. I'm doing this open house. That's going to maximize the opportunities, right? You're just so focused on what you need to do over the next 7 days. And then the other thing you're going to do for the next 7 days is you're going to look at those quarterly projects and you're going to think about what's the 1 or 2 things I can do in the next 7 days that's going to get me closer, right? So let's say one of your projects this year is to hire a new bookkeeper because your finances are a mess and you're like, enough is enough. And then you've said in your 90-day plan, you know what? I'm going to have that new bookkeeper in place by the end of the quarter. Okay. So then what are you going to do in the next 7 days to take a step forward towards that goal? You might say, you know what? I'm going to phone 5 of my agent friends and find out what they do for bookkeeping, and I'm going to gather my ideas. Really simple step, right? But you're always, always, always moving the needle towards the big picture, and you're always very clear on where you're going. And then the other thing I want you to get in your calendar and be religious about this and be obsessed with this is studying the MLS every single day. Be obsessed with it. Show me via thumb. Yes, I study the MLS every day. Sideways thumb if I check it sometimes, or no, I don't check it at all unless a client asks me to look up a specific property, right? Are you guys a thumbs up, a sideways thumb, or a thumbs down right now? Okay. If you, I'm glad I'm seeing so many thumbs up. You would not believe when I ask this question, how many times I get a sideways thumb. Okay. In this market, especially, have it as a habit of being a thumbs up, right? Be obsessed with knowing how many active listings are there? How many have gone pending in the last 30 days? How many have sold in the last 30 days? What's the average days on market, right? Because guess what you're going to do every day is at least 10 times a day, you're going to answer that question. How's the market? Right? So those are the things that I absolutely want you to get in your calendar this year, right? So it's planning your week, right? Planning your week. I like to do it Sunday or Monday morning, right? Which is reading your annual plan, reading your 90-day plan, setting your 7-day goals, right? Making your why, your bedtime story, reading that every night, right? And getting obsessed with studying the MLS, right? If you combine those tactics and also focus on that speed to lead, having content out there on knowledge and expertise, community, passions and interests, leaning into your database, leaning on them for referrals, I feel really confident in saying you're going to have a rockin' 2023. What do you guys think? Okay. Tessa, what do you want to ask me, or is anyone else? What do you guys want to ask me? We've got a couple of minutes left here.
Yeah, let's definitely open it up to some questions here. Sorry, I interrupted somebody.
It was me. Way to go. I do have a question, Janet. What do you suggest, and I may have missed it, for a calendar? What's your favorite calendar software to use? Like Google? Like, what is your favorite tracking, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I love Google Calendars, right? It's so simple to use. And what I like about it is you can color code it. I don't know if any of you heard me speak. I spoke at Summit this year on time management, and I shared my color schemes. Like, what I love doing is putting my personal stuff, like my health and happiness stuff, in blue. When I'm spending time with other people, I put that in pink. My working in the business, I use as light green. My working on the business, I use as dark green. And then when I'm doing like nothing, like sleeping, I just put that as gray. And then my goal is that every day I always want to see all those colors, because sometimes if I just see all light green, that's not a balanced life, right? And so I find by color coding it, you can see like, oh, I'm spending time with my family. Oh, I'm working out, right? So that's what I like to do.
Yeah, I loved it from Summit. You're working on the business and working in the business, having those two different colors. That was like the biggest takeaway that I got from it. And that's why I'm like, mention the colors. I love that.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, who else has a question? We got time for one more before I fly. I guess we're good then.
I think we got some shy ones. Thank you so much for your time. I know from Summit, were we ever able to get your slideshow or your
Yep.
Did they ever put that out?
Yeah, definitely. And Tessa, I think you have it, right?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
it. I can get it out of.
Okay, cool. I'll get it from Tessa and share it with everyone.
Okay, good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Janet.
Okay, have an awesome week, you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay, bye.
Bye. We'll see
Bye,
everybody
guys.
next Thursday. Or next, who's speaking next Thursday?
It's Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Just to give you guys, if you guys want to stay on and see who the next people are.
Hey Tessa, this is Omar.
Hi,
When you
Omar.
get, hey, what's up? When you get that slideshow, can you send it to us? That'd be
I
cool.
sure can. Yeah, definitely.
I'll send it out to everybody.
Yeah, I'll get it right now.
Sweet.
Omar, you should have asked her about Asana. She's like the queen of Asana. She really knows how to do everything on that program.
Really? Because I'm getting into it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll shoot her a text or a call, or you probably know about it too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing next week because it's Thanksgiving. December 1st, we have Doug Edrington. December 8th will be Dan O'Neill.
I'm so excited for Dan O'Neill.
Yeah, super exciting. Then Doug will be doing every other week in December. And then the 22nd, we have Ryan McMillian. So
Perfect.
good things coming up. So I'll get that from Tessa and I'll send it out. If you're on this and you guys didn't receive an email from me today, I'm going to send you my email address in the chat box. Just drop me, I'm just Christina@gmail today. Send me an email and I'll make sure you guys get the slideshow that she was talking about.
Okay.
So Christina@5 Realty, and I'll make sure you guys get that.
Perfect. I'll send it over to you right now.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Have a great day, and we won't see anybody next week. So happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you all later.
Sounds good. See you
All
guys.
right, take care, guys.
Bye.
You guys